Bonjour, hello, and welcome to another edition of Homebrew Wednesday, Leggy Bloke type stuff. Alright chaps, well, what we've been up to then. Today has been a very busy day so far, and it's only, about 1:30 now in the afternoon. Been a very busy day, and I've been up since about, I don't know, 7:30, something like that. And what I've been doing is bottling and brewing, and you'll see the video in a second about the brew that we're doing this week. But I've just finished bottling the Wilco's lager that I did a week or so ago. Looking good. It's finished. It's going to be around about 4%. Nothing too strong, but that's okay. You know, that's fine with me. 4% is okay. That'll be a session beer. That'll sit out in the room temperature in the kitchen, around about 23 degrees, something like that out there. It's quite warm at the moment. I've got the heating on. It's bloody cold. Yeah, so it's going to be in the kitchen, and we'll leave it out there for a couple of weeks. Then we'll transfer it to the shed, and we'll leave it for probably another 4 weeks before we give it a go. You know, the longer you leave it, the better it gets, doesn't it, folks? So in the fridge at the moment, we have this week's brew. Now, this week's brew is a little bit different, because what we're doing this week, I shall be mostly doing a different brew. Yes, I'm going to be doing a different brew this week. You'll see in the video coming up. It's basically Cooper's European Lager, but with some additions. Now, the additions are a packet of Cooper's Brew Enhancer 1. That's just got dextrose and maltodextrin in it. The reason I'm using that is because it's there and I need to use it. Why not throw it into a lager? You know, we don't chuck things away, folks, do we? We use them. So that's going in. Also going in is a kilogram of light malt extract. Whole kilogram. Yeah, it's going to be a strong one, this. And what else will we be using this week? Ah, yes, almost forgot. 25 grams of Saaz pellets, and that will go in after seeping in a sort of hoppy tea for about 15 minutes or so. You'll see it's all coming up, folks. It's all coming up that way or that way. Watch this space. Yeah, and what we're going to do is we're going to basically leave that in the fermenting fridge around about 24 degrees for 24 hours, 12 to 24 hours. What I might do is, after about 12 hours, bring the temperature down to maybe 18, and in the morning I'll bring the temperature down to 13. So it'll have 12 hours roughly at around about 24 degrees, and then it'll have probably 8 hours or so at 18 degrees, and then we'll bring it down to 13 degrees and we'll just leave it until it finishes fermenting. I suspect that will probably take longer than, you know, your normal bog standard kits. It'll probably take a couple of weeks rather than a week or so. What we could do is bring it all the way down to 3 degrees, but I'm having a bit of problem. And I think it's my fridge. My fridge doesn't go all the way down to 3 degrees. Well, it does, but what's happening is the temperature controller is stopping the fridge from coming back on again at such a low temperature. And I think there's some sort of trigger going on there, and I can't seem to figure our way around it. So I can't really do a proper lager. In other words, you know, brew it at 12 or 13 degrees for a week or so, 2 weeks, whatever, and then bring the temperatures down to 2 degrees and just leave it sit there to lager out properly. Can't really do that at the moment unless I can figure out how to do that. Yeah, it's a bit of a pain, but you know, we're only doing kits and it's fine, and we don't have to have the temperatures down to 2 degrees. We can brew these lagers around about 12 to 13 degrees, and we'll stick them in the shed. Once they've carbonated at room temperature, we'll leave them out in the shed. It's cold out there, it'll be fine, and we'll just leave it to ferment. out and whatever it needs to do. Don't mean ferment, do I? I meant lager out. Yeah. What else is going on? Yeah, the Coopers. Not the Coopers. The Wilco's kit that I've just done. The Wilco's lager kit that I've just bottled. What I did, just to be different this time around, is instead of basically putting a teaspoon of sugar in every single bottle, which takes bloody ages when you're bottling. You just want to go zoom, boom, and put the lid on and onto the next one. I siphoned off the lager on top of 180 grams of sugar, dextrose, and that was wasn't boiled, but it was basically dissolved in warm hot water on the stove. And yeah, that was put in a second fermenting vessel. Little tip from me, guys: what you need to do if you're going to do lagers and beers and things, you need at least 3 fermenting vessels. I shall tell you why. You're always going to have one fermenting vessel on the go. Tick, one gone already. The second one you're going to be using to basically prime your beer. I can't even get it out, can I? Yeah, so you'll siphon everything out of your primary vessel into your secondary vessel over the top of some sugar, like I've done with the Wilco's kit. The third one is there because you want to start your next brew. And what you'll do is, when you sanitize your second vessel that you're going to siphon all of your lager, your fermented lager into, what you want to do with that second fermenting vessel is siphon out all of that sanitized water into your third fermenting vessel number 3, and that will make sure that's all nice and clean. And with that one, you start your new lager. Job done. And I think it's a lot quicker to do it that way, because you can just go boom, 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 and everything's ready for your next batch. Whereas what you'll have to do is, if you're going to basically use your original fermenting, but you've got to clean it out and all that sort of stuff and get all the junk off, and you don't have to worry about that because you've got 3 fermenting vessels. Boom, 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 boom. Can't even count. 3 fermenting vessels on the go. So it's boom, 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 boom. Job done. Anyway, just a little tip, folks. I find it easier. You might find it easier too. So see how you feel. It's up to you. You're in charge, folks. Anyway, on with this week's brew. Hey guys, welcome to my palace. Now, the palace is obviously the kitchen in this case. What we've got here then, just to do something different this time round, is we've got a Cooper's European Lager. We've got a kilogram of light spray malt. There's 500 grams, there's another 500 grams. We've got a packet of Cooper's Brew Enhancer 1. Obviously we've got the yeast that comes with the European lager. That is a lager yeast, but because we're throwing in a load of malt and additions, I'm also going to chuck in a packet of Saaz lager dry lager yeast. And just over here in my measuring jug, pan, thing, type stuff, I've got 25 grams of Saaz hops. What I'm going to do is boil some water and throw them in the water and allow them to sit for about, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes or so, and they'll go into the brew. And once again, folks, we have the sanitizing bucket. There it is, upside down, but it's there anyway, with all the equipment in that's going to come into contact with the beer. That's actually sanitizing liquid in there, 10 teaspoons of BWP, and some warmish to hot water. That's been in there for a while now because I've been bottling other stuff, but you can leave that in there for 15 minutes before you start siphoning the water out, running some water over it, and then putting the kit in. So here we are, folks. The liquid, as you can see, is draining out into my big 11 litre pan that I've got. I'll drain most of the liquid out that way and chuck it in the sink. And over here on the pan, while I'm draining the sanitizer liquid out of the fermenting bucket, I've got the Cooper's kit sitting in some hot water just to make sure that you know, we get as much out of there as we can once we pour it. Right guys, so as you can hear in the background, I've got the kettle on. I'm going to need to add 2 litres of water, hot water, to the fermenting vessel alongside the spray malt and the Cooper's beer enhancer. In here I'm going to put the Saaz hops, and I'm going to leave that for 15 minutes. So let's get on with that. Okay guys, as you can see, the water is just about getting to boiling. So that's fine. Here it comes. It's going to come up to the boil any minute now. It's exciting, isn't it? It's like watching a kettle, waiting for a kettle to boil. Here comes the boil. Bum, bum, bum. Right, so let's turn that off then. Okay, so that's about more or less boiled. Here's the hops. Oh, hoppy, hoppy, hop, hops. In they go. Boom. Going to leave them in there for 15 minutes, and then what we'll do is we'll pour the rest of the contents into the fermenting bucket. This will be the last thing that goes in. So guys, hey, here we are again, happy as can be. Now we're ready to chuck in the contents of our packets. So there goes the Cooper's Brew Enhancer kit. Whee, lots of dust from that. And the next thing we chuck in is the extract, the light malt extract. Remember, we're chucking in 2 of these because we're going to have a malty hoppy beer. Yeah, 2 of those go in. Here we go, there's the second one. And now what we need to do after this is chuck in the contents of the Cooper's kit. So here we go with the Cooper's kit, chaps. Whee! Look at all that lovely stuff. Now what I'm going to have to do in a second is fill this up with water from the kettle just to make sure I get the dregs out. Give it a little bit of a stir. Chuck the rest in, because obviously not all of this is going to come out without some help. Let's see, look, yeah, as you can see there's still a fair amount in there, so what we'll do is we'll put that to one side. We'll put some hot water in there and get the rest in. Right, so here we are then guys. We've got all of our ingredients in there. We've got the Cooper's kit in there. We've got the malt extract in there. And we've got the Brew Enhancer 1 in there. So a kilo, remember, of the malt and a packet of Brew Enhancer 1 Cooper stuff. Now, at this point, I have been stirring this like a motherfucker, okay? But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the hops in. In order for me to do that, I need to put on my strainer. There's my strainer. Can you see my strainer? That goes on there. Like that. There we see. That sits on the top. And I'll just go over here. There's the hoppy stuff. Give that a quick stir, just to make sure we get everything off the bottom. There we go. Oh. Smells good, but it's rather messy, guys. It's rather messy. It's a messy motherfucker. So you might want to do this while the wife's out, which is what I'm doing. So you give yourself plenty of time to clear up afterwards. There we go. What we'll do is we'll let the hops drain out just a little bit, and I'll give it a squeeze. This bag, of course, has been sanitized, so yeah, it's not been sitting out. Although it looks a bit dirty, it's been through the wash and it's been sanitized. so no worries about contamination there. Okay guys, so the hops are in there now. Pretty much everything we need is in there. Again, we need to make sure we give it a big bloody stir to make sure we've broken up all the clumps. Bit of advice I will give you is when you're doing a big batch like this with quite a lot of malt additions or maltodextrin or anything that is basically clumpy, you'll give it a stir for about 5 minutes and then you'll think, oh shit, this is still clumpy. You need to stick with it. This needs to be stirred mentally, like a mad mental person. And I'm talking about stirring for about 10 minutes just to make sure you get all the clumps out. But you know, you do as good a job as you can with the patience that you have. I'm pretty happy with this now. I'm happy that I've got as much of the clumpiness out as I can. It looks pretty smooth to me and it's smelling great. So now all that's left to do is to chuck the water in. Right guys, so we've taken it up to 20 litres in this instance. I'm going to take a gravity reading and then I'll decide whether I'm going to take it up to 21 litres or brew it all the way through to 23. Here we are then guys. Now because this is quite a strong brew, when I measured it at 20 litres it was 1.060, so I've took it all the way up to 23 litres now and it's 1.055, there or thereabouts. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit more seth lager yeast. I'm going to put in 15 grams of seth lager yeast. Now there's about 4 grams there, and what I'm going to do is put in another packet. So there we go, chuck that on the top there. And also the DIY beer Cooper's brewing yeast, we'll chuck that in as well. That goes on the top. This is going to brew up like a motherfucker. That's it. All done guys. Lid goes on. We put it into the fermenting fridge. So here we are then guys at the beer fridge. As you can see, it's all in there. Again, because there's not very much room at the top of the brew fridge for a proper airlock, I've just used a bit of pipe. That will do the trick, and that's basically just some sanitizing liquid. That'll be absolutely fine. So that goes in there. Over here there's the temperature at the moment, but if I click on here you'll see that it's set to 24 degrees. So what will happen is the heating, as you can see the little lights on there, bing, the heater, which is right down the bottom there, there it is, that will come on, bring the temperature up to 24 degrees and keep it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it at 24 degrees for about 12 hours, and then I'm going to bring the temperature down to about 13 because this is lager yeast. So we want to kick fermentation off pretty quickly, but again it is a lager yeast, so we need to bring those temperatures down to 13 when we can. All good fun. Hello, I'm back. See that behind me? That's an exercise bike. Not for me, it's for the girls. I've been on it a couple of times, but I've got a problem with my coccyx, folks, and they're all around about that area. And if I sit on a bike for too long, it just plays merry hell with it, so I can't do it. I can only get on there for about 10 minutes and I have to get off because I'm sore. Never mind. I have to keep fit in other ways, like drinking beer. Oh no, that's no good, is it? I'm being sober. Bugger. Oh well, I'll think of something. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this week's little fermentation. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, this one. I'm wondering how hoppy and how... It's definitely going to be shitloads of malt in there, so it's going to be a malty motherfucker. I've said 3 motherfucker. That makes 4 motherfucker. That's 5 motherfucker. 6 motherfucker. Oh, like a broken record. Yeah, it's certainly going to be very malty. No doubt about that. But I'm wondering whether the malt is going to overpower the Saaz. We'll see. It's experimentation and we learn, don't we, folks? We do these things because A, we've got ingredients lying around and we need to use them up. B, we enjoy doing it. It's a hobby after all, and we enjoy the fruits of our labour, hopefully, afterwards. And I'm looking forward to this one, just to see how it comes out, really. I'm hoping it will be fine. But before I'm even able to taste that one, I've got some Mexican cerveza in the fridge. No, I haven't. Bugger, I haven't got it in the fridge, have I? I've got it in the shed. I better put some in the fridge then, haven't I? Yeah, you better. Alright then. So I've got some Mexican cerveza in the shed, which I need to put into the fridge. Keep it cool. Because by the time you see this video is going to go out on the 22nd, I think. 22nd, something like that. I've done it before the 22nd, obviously. And I'll be towards the end of my sobriety for January. So I need to get some beers in the fridge ready to drink at the end of January to celebrate. So we've got some cervezas that need to go in, and also what I moved into the shed, I think I did a Cooper's kit, another Cooper's kit, I'm not sure. There's something just been moved into the shed. So yeah, I'm going to have plenty of lagers on the go in the next few months, folks. I'm enjoying doing the lagers. I'm enjoying, the different flavours that they produce. Yeah, the first two I did were fab. They were really good. Granted, they were, cheap lager kits, but they came out really nice. And of course, those ones that I did initially had ale yeast in. But hey, if you like the taste, it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter whether it's not technically a lager. If you're drinking it and you're enjoying drinking it, and you enjoy making it, why not? Why not continue to do it? So I've still got loads of lager kits on the side out there that we're going to be doing for the rest of 2014. Of course, as I said in the previous Homebrew Wednesday video, folks, like a superhero, leggy bloke man. My superpowers will be drinking beer and getting pissed. No, but not a good idea, is it really? Not very super. No. So we've got loads of kits going, and there's going to be some turbo ciders coming up, folks. Just not many, just a few, and there'll be some reviews. Now, in the previous video, before I finish off here, I just want to say, in previous videos, I have mentioned that I'm not really a big ale drinker, but as I've been using ale yeast to do these lagers, my palate is getting more used to the drier, bittery taste of the lagers. So what I thought I would do is do some lager. My God, I need to put my teeth in today. Oh, do some ale reviews. And I've found some hoppy ales from the supermarket, just one or two, and I'm going to do a couple of reviews on them with my non-ale palate, my lager palate, to see how we go. It may well be that I'm getting more closer to ales and I'm moving further away from cider. Not sure. Chances are I'm still going to go, not really sure about that, because I really haven't got a bitter tongue, although I am quite bitter myself, but that's another story. So we'll see. Yeah, do a couple of reviews, and you can watch me go as I don't like them, but we'll see. I found one. It's really interesting, and I've used the hops that are primary in this particular ale in a cider. I did a hopped cider with these hops that are in this one of these IPAs. It's an IPA, I think, that I'm going to be tasting. See if we like it, eh? Yeah, so look forward to that. See you next time, folks. God bless you, governors. Ta-ra for now.